How's it going, gamer? You got Hands here, and today in Dauntless, we're going over a few builds for Boreus Hammer. Blaze Escalation is super hot right now, so it's a good idea to go in there with a nice frost weapon so you can kick some butt and do some great damage. And in this video, I have 3 builds. One that has Iceborn, one that doesn't, and one that has Rage and Discipline. These are all very strong builds with great attack speed and great raw damage. I even have a stagger hammer build so you can utilize it with Lady Luck's Barrage if you find that amp. So turn on your system, grab your hammer, and let's get ready. How's it going, gamer? We got this pretty epic build for Boreus Hammer. It's a great frost hammer, especially right now with Blaze Escalation going on. A lot of people are wondering, what builds to use. I've already posted a few for strikers and the sword. I got a hammer one here too. I actually got about 2 or 3 builds I'm going to show you, especially because Lady Luck's Barrage emphasizes on stagger damage. So I'm going to make a nice neutral build that's synergized with Boreus Hammer, and I'm going to show you one that has max knockout king too, just so we can utilize Lady Luck's Barrage pretty epically, because man, it shoots down like crazy. So let's hop into this first build. This is the one more that's neutralized with damage and attack speed, and it's a safe play because it has Iceborn. So first you want to get Boreus Hammer that has a +3 conditioning, and remember, after spending ammo you generate frost sprites that grants the next attack plus 60% or plus 60 damage and minor frost damage, so that's really good against Blaze Behemoths. We're going to put a +3 overpower cell in there. We're going to put a +3 Iceborn cell in there as well. I like to use the concussive salvo and extended clip so we can have extra damage, because extended clip is really dope. For the helmet, we're using Drask's helmet that has a +3 etheric tument, and we're going to put a +3 Rage Hunter cell. For the chest piece, that's Kashai's chest that has a +3 Predator, and we're going to put a +3 Conduit cell. For the hands, that's Nasher's hands that has a +3 Rage Hunter, and we're going to put a +3 Overpower. And for the feet, that's Boreus' feet and it has a +3 Iceborn, and we're going to put a +3 Predator cell. So for the Lantern gamer, you can use Emberbane's Rapture for more attack speed. If you think the hammer is too slow, it definitely makes it go super fast. And if you want more damage, you can use Drask's Eye and also use the same cell, Conduit cell. You use more damage for Drask's Eye, more attack speed with Emberbane's Rapture. So for the tonics, if you can afford it, I would suggest to use a Soul Tonic, Blitz Tonic, Frenzy Tonic. Those are really good tonics right now, especially, like I said, Lady Luck's Barrage is all based off of stagger damage. The last escalation was based off critical strikes. This one's like based off stagger. So all in all, we have a +6 Conduit that gives us +15% attack speed for us and the rest of the Slayers. A +6 Iceborn, which gives us nice life steal and definitely decreases the damage we receive, so it's really great. And Overpower is really nice because that's +60% damage, and Behemoths will be staggered, definitely be staggered, and this will definitely proc. And the +6 Predator is 35% damage if you don't get hit, and a +6 Rage Hunter, 40% damage when they're enraged, and a +3 Etheric Tument to recharge our lantern, so we can either have more attack speed or more damage depending on the lantern you choose. And the +3 conditioning comes from our hammer, and that's really great because it's +15 stamina regeneration, and we're going to be spamming the hammer. We're going to be running around, because escalation is pretty tough, and this build definitely makes it a lot easier. So speaking of the stagger damage and Blaze Escalation and Lady Luck's Barrage amp, if you don't know what that is, that's where when you build up stagger damage, you unleash like these meteor showers of fireballs on top of the behemoth that just come up from the sky, and it builds up the more stagger damage you do. So what we're doing is I have a derivative of the build that I just showed you, but this one has Knockout King and Rage for a little bit more damage and attack speed, because we'll be using Wild Frenzy as well. Let's hop into this one. It's Brutality of Boreus, the hammer that has +3 conditioning. Like we said, we're going to put a +3 Discipline cell in here and a +3 Iceborn cell, and the special and the mod is the same. And for the helmet, we're using Pangarn's helmet because it has a +3 Knockout King, and we're going to put another +3 Knockout King. And remember, this is for Lady Luck's Barrage amp, but hey, there's nothing wrong with having an extra stagger damage. For the chest piece, we're using Shroud's chest piece that has a +3 rage, and we're going to put a +3 overpower. For the hands, that's Boreus's hands that has a +3 rage, and we're going to put another +3 overpower. And then for the feet, we're using Boreus March that has a +3 Iceborn, and we're going to put a +3 Wild Frenzy. Why? Because we're at half health, and we're going to be attacking a lot faster all the time with Wild Frenzy. That's a constant attack speed buff. And like I said before, for the lantern, use Drask's Eye for damage, or use Embermane's Rapture for attack speed, and use the same cell down there, Conduit cell. And for the tonics, I suggest the same: Blitz tonic, Assault tonic, Frenzy tonic. So all in all, what we got going on here is a +6 Iceborn to help us stay alive and get all the way to the big ugly gorilla so we can beat him down. Great lifesteal, great damage reduction. +6 Knockout King, that increases our stagger damage by 30%. And when we dodge through an attack, the next attack is +100% stagger damage. So we're going to be building up that stagger damage real good for Lady Luck's Barrage Amp. And you'll be showering down meteors like crazy constantly. Overpowered, duh, because we have a hammer, and that's +60% damage when they're staggered. And we're running Knockout King, just imagine that. Rage, that's a 25% damage all the time because we're at half health. Here's Conditioning, +15% recharge, which is really good, like I said, because you're running around swinging the hammer, utilizing all that stamina. +3 Conduit, it makes this attack even faster, and that's 8% attack speed for all slayers. And then Discipline is what knocks us at half health, and that also gives us a +7.5% critical strike chance. But that allows us to use Rage, which is a really good constant damage buff. And then Wild Frenzy right here. When we're under half health, which we are, we're getting 5% attack speed. Remember, if you want to change this out for something else, you can change Wild Frenzy for more damage and get Berserker, but then you'll have reduced health. That's entirely up to you, but remember, you can always change up some of these builds in a different manner. But what we're doing here is having great damage, great self heals, and then great attack speed to go along with that. So this is the build that I suggest for if you want extra stagger damage, and if you're definitely searching for Lady Luck's Barrage Amp that's in Blaze Escalation. So I hope you enjoy this build. We got one more build with Boreus's Hammer for those who don't want or need Iceborn. In my opinion, this is still an awesome, really great build, and we're running Rage, so we're at half health as well. So you're going to be pumping out a lot of good damage and attack speed, but remember, you're at half health and you're not being healed on this one. So you're going to get Boreus's Hammer and put a Discipline cell in there. And then here, I put a Fireproof cell because we're in Blaze Escalation. You know, most likely you're fighting Blaze Behemoths, especially the big giant gorilla. But remember, you can use anything like Sturdy, Fortress, Iceborn for damage reduction, 9 lives. You know, it's all up to you. Strategic cell, it's all up to you. Sturdy's a real good one because it prevents you from being staggered on a cooldown. And right here, same special, same mod. For the headpiece, we're using Rezakiri's headpiece that has a +3 Conduit, and you're going to put a +3 Wild Frenzy cell because we're at half health and we want to have that increased attack speed. The piece, and that's a +3 Rage, and we're going to put a +3 Overpower. And for the hands, that's Malkirion's Grasp that has a +3 Predator, and we're going to put another +3 Predator. For the feet, that's Charles Volcanic Treads that has a +3 Rage, and we're going to put a +3 Overpower cell. And for the lantern, use Drask's Lantern for damage, or Embermane's Rapture Lantern for attack speed. That's all up to you. And you're definitely going to put a Conduit cell. Same tonics. Remember, the tonics are really great. So all in all, gamer, what we got is a +6 Conduit for this one. This makes our attack speed +15% for all slayers. And then here's Overpower again. You see the common denominator here? Overpower and hammers, baby. That's +60% damage for staggered behemoths. They will be staggered. Here's a 35% damage if we don't get hit from Predator. A 25% damage all the time because we're at half health. And then Conditioning, like we've been talking about, great stamina recharge, we need that. Discipline is what knocks us at half health, so we can use Rage, and it has +7.5 critical strike chance. And then we talked about Fireproof, you can change that all up if you want. And then right here, Wild Frenzy, that's +12.5% attack speed. So think about that, if you combine Wild Frenzy, which is always happening, we're always attacking 12.5% faster, and then you do your lantern hold, and then you do another plus 15%. So you're attacking fast with this build. It's epic damage, super fast attack speed compared to the other ones, but you have no self heals, so remember that. I hope you enjoy all these builds, guys. Peace. Alright gamer, that's all I got for you today. Hey, if you appreciate these videos, don't hesitate to hit that subscribe button and share it with your friends. I certainly appreciate all y'all's nice comments. And hey, don't forget to follow me on Instagram, on Twitter, in the same handle, HndsDwnThBest Gaming. This is Hands signing out. Peace.